My beloved one, listen closely, because this moment is not random, and this message is not ordinary. December 26 carries a hidden weight in the spiritual realm. While the world moves on as if nothing is happening, heaven is leading in your direction. Archangel Michael is standing near you right now, sword lowered, but alert, because a sudden change is already forming around your life. This is not meant to scare you. This is meant to prepare you. You were not supposed to hear this message by accident. Something pulled you here. Something whispered, "Watch this." That whisper was not your imagination. It was divine alignment. Archangel Michael says there is a window, and that window is narrowing. Not tomorrow. Not someday. But now. A decision, an action, or even a pause you are considering carries far more power than you realize. Heaven has marked this period, and December 26th is a spiritual hinge point. Many people around you think things are calm. They think your life is on pause. But in the unseen realm, gears are moving fast. What is about to shift will feel sudden, almost shocking, but it will make sense after it happens. This is the part many people misunderstand about God's timing. Silence does not mean absence. Delay does not mean denial. Often, it means protection. And Archangel Michael has been guarding you longer than you know. You have been feeling a strange pressure lately. Not panic, but urgency. A quiet feeling that says, something is about to change. You may not be able to explain it, but it shows up when you are alone. It shows up at night. It shows up when you think about your future. That feeling is real. There is a door connected to your calling, your stability, and your peace. That door had been opening slowly, and now it is almost fully open. But here is the warning: doors do not stay open forever. Not because God is cruel, but because timing is holy. Archangel Michael is revealing this because he has seen what happens if you hesitate too long. There is an outcome that brings growth, clarity, and breakthrough, and there is another path that keeps you circling the same lessons again and again. And this is where December 26 matters. On this date, spiritual permission shift. Certain delays lift. Certain coverings are removed. Certain truths come into the light. This is why the change will feel sudden. It will look like coincidence to others, but you will know it was ordained. You may receive news unexpectedly. A conversation may happen that was not planned. Someone may reveal their true intentions. Or an opportunity may appear that forces you to decide quickly. You not dismiss it. Archangel Michael says, pay attention to what moves fast during this time. God often accelerates what is meant to stay and removes what was never meant to follow you forward. There is also a warning wrapped in love. If you ignore the nudge, if you silence the inner prompting, the window does not vanish, but it shifts, and the next opening will require more effort, more waiting, and more pruning. This is not punishment. This is spiritual law. You have already survived seasons that should have broken you. You have walked through confusion, disappointment, and unanswered prayers. Yet here you are. That alone tells heaven something about you. Archangel Michael is not visiting you with correction, but with instruction. He says your next step does not require perfection. It requires obedience. Even a small act done in alignment carries massive spiritual weight right now. Some of you are holding back because you are waiting for confirmation. But this message is the confirmation. Others are afraid of making the wrong move. But staying still when God is calling you forward is also a decision. December 26th is not about rushing. It is about recognizing the moment. There is a sudden change coming. Yes, But it is not chaos. It is realignment. What leaves was already out of season. What enters was delayed for your protection. Archangel Michael says your life is about to make more sense than it ever has, but only if you stay spiritually alert. Do not share everything you are sensing with everyone. Guard your words. Guard your peace. Not everyone needs access to what God is doing privately. And hear this clearly. The window is closing fast because the next phase is demanding clarity. Half-hearted steps will not work where you are going. This is why you are being warned gently instead of shocked suddenly. Breathe. You are not late, but you are on the edge. The next moments you choose, your thoughts, your actions, your response will echo further than you think. And this is only the beginning of what Archangel Michael is revealing. My dear soul, let me speak to you gently now, because what Archangel Michael is revealing next requires a calm heart and open spirit. After December 26th, the atmosphere around you begins to change subtly. Not everyone will notice it, but you will feel it first. The heaviness you carried without explanation will start lifting, yet at the same time, a strange seriousness will settle in your spirit. This is not fear. This is awareness. Heaven is asking you to become more intentional than ever before. Archangel Michael says this next phase is not about what you lose, but about what you finally stop carrying. There are responsibilities, emotions, and even relationships that were never meant to travel with you into the next chapter. You tried to hold everything together because you have a loyal heart. But loyalty without discernment can delay destiny. You may notice people reacting differently to you now. Some will become distant. Others may suddenly demand more from you. This is not coincidence. When God begins to shift someone's life, exposure happens naturally. Masks fall. Motives rise to the surface. And Archangel Michael is standing between you and unnecessary spiritual battles, ensuring that what is revealed does not destroy you, but directs you. Listen carefully. A sudden change does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it arrives as a quiet realization that you can no longer stay where you are. You might wake up one morning feeling done with confusion, done with waiting for people to change, done with shrinking yourself to keep peace. That feeling is sacred. Archangel Michael says you are stepping into a season where delay becomes uncomfortable. Comfort zones will feel tight. Old patterns will feel exhausting. This is how God moves His chosen ones forward, not by force, but by holy dissatisfaction. Do not misinterpret this season. You are not becoming impatient. You are becoming aligned. Here is also a message about your voice. You have been silent about things that mattered. You have swallowed truth to avoid conflict. But in this window, silence can cost you clarity. You do not need to argue or explain yourself, but you must honor what God is showing you. Expect a moment where you are required to respond honestly. It may be a conversation. It may be a decision. It may be a choice only you see. Archangel Michael says, choose truth, even if it feels uncomfortable for a moment. The relief afterward will be worth it. Some of you are waiting for a sign so obvious that there is no risk involved. But faith has always required movement before full visibility. Remember, the Red Sea did not part until the first step was taken. This is why this message is being spoken now and not later. You may also feel drawn to change certain habits, routines, or environments. Pay attention to that pull. It is not random. God often prepares us internally before He changes things externally. What you release now makes room for what is coming next. And hear this clearly, not everyone who claps for you now is meant to walk with you later. Archangel Michael is guarding your future relationships, even if that means allowing temporary loneliness. Do not fill empty spaces with the wrong people just to feel comfortable. This season favors those who listen more than they speak. Now, let me pause here for a moment, not to break the flow, but to speak directly to you as a listener. If this message is stirring something deep inside you, take a second to like this video, because it helps this word reach others who are also standing at a divine crossroads. Comment where you're watching from, or simply write "I receive clarity," so this message anchors in your spirit. Share this with someone who may not even realize they are in a critical window right now. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel so you stay connected to these timely messages. This is how we spread what God is revealing in this hour. Archangel Michael says momentum matters now. What you feed grows. What you ignore fades. Be mindful of where your attention goes in the coming days. Fear will try to speak louder than faith, but fear has no authority unless you give it permission. There's a blessing attached to obedience in this season. Not dramatic obedience, simple obedience. Returning that call. Taking that step. Saying no where you always said yes. Saying yes where you always hesitated. You are not behind. You are being positioned. And before you mentally drift or assume you already know what comes next, stay present, because the next revelation connects directly to something personal you have been praying about. Hold on, what comes next will bring clarity you did not expect. My chosen one, receive this gently, because what Archangel Michael reveals now is deeply personal and divinely precise. There is something you have been asking God about in private. A prayer you did not speak loudly. A request you whispered, not because you doubted God, but because you feared disappointment. Archangel Michael says heaven heard it clearly, and the response has already been released, just not in the way you expected. December 26th did not only mark a shift in circumstances, it marked a shift in authority. You are stepping out of a season where everything felt like effort, and into a season where alignment begins to work on your behalf. But alignment requires honesty, and this is where many people hesitate. You are being asked to see something clearly now. A pattern, a cycle, a repeating lesson. God has shown you this before, but you were not ready to confront it then. This time, you are stronger. This time, you are more aware. And this time, Archangel Michael is standing with you, ensuring that truth does not overwhelm you, but empowers you. There is a sudden clarity coming, possibly through a realization rather than an event. You will understand why certain doors stayed closed, why certain people exited your life, and why certain prayers were delayed. It will not feel bitter. It will feel freeing. Some of you have been blaming yourself for things that were never your responsibility. You carried guilt that did not belong to you. Archangel Michael says this burden is being lifted now. What was not yours to fix will no longer drain your energy. Pay close attention to your emotions during this period. If something no longer excites you, it is not rebellion. It is revelation. If something that once mattered suddenly feels heavy, it is not weakness. It is discernment. There is also a warning wrapped in compassion. Do not rush to explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Silence, when guided by God, is not avoidance. It is wisdom. You are entering a time where your peace becomes more valuable than approval. And Archangel Michael says this is the key that unlocks the next blessing. A sudden change is still approaching, but now you will recognize it not as disruption, but as confirmation. You will know it is God because it will bring both clarity and calm at the same time. Some of you will notice changes in your sleep, your dreams, or your inner thoughts. This is because your spirit is adjusting to a new frequency. Do not be alarmed. Rest when you need to. Pray when you feel led. Pull back when your spirit says so. You are not withdrawing from life. You are preparing for it. Archangel Michael says something you thought you lost forever will return in a new form. Not the same, not smaller, but wiser and more stable. This could be confidence, opportunity, peace, or direction. And now hear this carefully. The window you were warned about is not closing to punish you. It is closing to protect what is coming next. Once you step through, you will not need to look back. This is why distractions have increased lately. This is why doubt tried to get louder. This is why old fears resurfaced. They sense movement. But you are covered. You have been chosen not because you are perfect, but because you are willing. Heaven values willingness more than talent. Archangel Michael says, trust what is being revealed to you now. You are not imagining it. You are not overthinking it. You are responding to divine timing. Before I go further, receive this activation with faith. Type I receive divine clarity in the comments if this message is resonating with your spirit. Blessing code 444 is now released over your decisions, your peace, and your next step. Now, hear this sacred invitation, flowing directly from what you just received. This message is not only for you. It is a flame meant to be carried. Every seed sown into this mission becomes like for someone still trapped in confusion. The word says that when you cast your bread upon the waters, it returns multiplied, and I declare that over you now. As I speak, I feel God inviting you personally to help this message reach the ones who are still standing at closed doors, waiting for truth. If this word has strengthened you, then respond prophetically. Release your support through super thanks, membership, or PayPal, because every act of giving becomes a river that carries God's voice farther than we can see. Your obedience opens heavens not only over you, but over homes you may never enter. I bless every giver now. May oil never run dry in your life. May doors open without struggle. May clarity follow you wherever you go. Do not delay this act. Move while the anointing is present. Obey now. Tome now. Step forward. My precious soul, let us go deeper now, because Archangel Michael is drawing your attention to something subtle yet powerful that many overlook during moments of transition. After clarity comes testing, not to break you but to stabilize you. When God prepares to move someone forward, He often allows a brief season where everything feels unusually quiet. No dramatic signs, no loud confirmations, just stillness. This is where trust matures. Archangel Michael says you may notice fewer external signals right now, and that can feel unsettling. You might wonder if you misheard God, or if the momentum has slowed. But hear this clearly, silence is not retreat. Silence is reinforcement. In this phase, your inner voice becomes sharper. Discernment grows stronger. You begin to sense what aligns and what does not without needing validation. This is intentional. God is teaching you to rely on spiritual sight rather than emotional reassurance. There is a reason this matters. The sudden change approaching your life requires stability, not excitement. If it arrived while you were still unsure of yourself, it would overwhelm you. That is why Archangel Michael is fortifying your foundation now. You may also feel drawn to simplify your life. Less noise, fewer explanations, smaller circles. This is not isolation. This is refinement. What you are becoming does not need a crowd, only clarity. Some relationships will feel distant during this time, not because of conflict, but because alignment has shifted. You are not losing people. You are outgrowing certain dynamics. Archangel Michael says, do not force reconnections that God is gently loosening. Let this be easy. You are also being trained to respond differently. Where you once reacted emotionally, you will now pause. Where you once felt pressured to fix everything, you will now wait. This change in response is proof of growth. There is a moment coming where someone expects the old version of you, but they will not find it. And instead of guilt, you will feel peace. That peace is your confirmation. Archangel Michael wants you to understand something important. The enemy does not attack what is stagnant. Resistance increases only when movement is detected. If you have felt unexpected tension, internal resistance, or strange hesitation lately, it is because your direction had been marked. But do not confuse resistance with danger. Resistance often means proximity to breakthrough. Your task right now is not to fight. It is to remain grounded. Stay prayerful. Stay aware. Stay humble. These are the qualities that protect what God is building in you. There is also healing happening beneath the surface. Old wounds you thought were resolved are being touched again, not to reopen pain, but to remove residue. God is cleansing reactions that no longer serve you. This may show up as emotional sensitivity or reflection. Allow it. Healing does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it moves quietly, restoring strength where you forgot you were weak. Archangel Michael says this phase is teaching you discernment over urgency. Not every opportunity requires an immediate answer. Not every invitation deserves access to you. Wisdom now will save you time later. Pay attention to what drains you versus what restores you. Your spirit will guide you accurately if you listen. You are also learning to trust God without constant reassurance. This is a sign of maturity. Faith that only survives with signs is fragile. Faith that stands without them is unshakable. The change coming will ask you to lead in some way, whether in your home, your work, or your influence. Leadership begins in stillness. Authority grows in obedience. Archangel Michael says you are being prepared to carry more. Not more burden, but more responsibility. This is why your character is being refined before your circumstances shift. Let go of the need to control outcomes. Control limits God. Surrender expands Him. There is a divine exchange happening now. As you release fear, God releases confidence. As you release doubt, God releases direction. As you release the past, God releases the future. Do not rush this phase. It is doing more than you realize. You are not waiting for the change. The change is waiting for you to be fully ready. And you are closer than you think. Beloved heart, what Archangel Michael reveals now is about momentum, because preparation without movement can quietly turn into hesitation. You are standing at the point where understanding must turn into action. Not rushed action, not fearful action, but intentional movement. Heaven has already aligned several pieces behind the scenes, and now your willingness becomes the final signal. There is something important you must understand about divine timing. God does not wait for you to feel completely confident. He waits for you to be available. Confidence often comes after obedience, not before it. This is why Archangel Michael keeps reminding you that readiness is spiritual, not emotional. You may still have questions. You may still feel uncertainty. That does not disqualify you. What would delay you now is overanalyzing what God has already confirmed. This is a season where small steps carry large consequences. A single decision made in faith can redirect months, even years, of effort. That is why the spiritual atmosphere feels heavier than usual. Weight means value. What is at stake matters. Archangel Michael says you are learning to trust yourself again, not in pride, but in partnership with God. For too long, you doubted your instincts because past experiences taught you to second guess. But discernment has been restored. Your inner warning system is active again. Honor it. If something feels off, pause. If something feels aligned, proceed without guilt. You do not need permission from everyone to obey God. There is also an important lesson about patience here. Patience does not mean inactivity. It means moving without panic. You are allowed to take thoughtful steps without rushing the process. You may notice doors opening in subtle ways. A conversation that leads somewhere unexpected. A thought that keeps returning. An opportunity that feels simple but meaningful. These are not coincidences. God often tests obedience with small doors before opening larger ones. Do not despise what looks ordinary. Archangel Michael warns against one thing in this phase: comparison. Looking sideways will distort your pace. What God is doing in you is specific. Someone else's timeline does not define yours. Someone else's breakthrough does not invalidate your process. Focus forward. There is also protection being released over your choices now. Even if you stumble slightly, grace will correct your steps. God is more invested in your growth than your perfection. This is why fear has less power than it used to. You may still feel it, but it no longer controls you. Awareness has replaced anxiety. Discernment has replaced doubt. You are beginning to move from survival into stability. A transition always feels unfamiliar. Survival keeps you alert. Stability requires trust. That is why some part of you feels uneasy letting go of old defenses. But Archangel Michael says those defenses are no longer needed. You are not walking into danger. You are walking into alignment. There is also something being asked of you relationally. You may need to set a boundary you have avoided. You may need to speak honestly where you stayed quiet. This is not about confrontation. It is about self-respect. Healthy boundaries do not push people away. They reveal who can walk with you in truth. Do not apologize for growth. As you move forward, you may notice fewer confirmations from people and more confirmations in peace. That peace is not emptiness. It is authority solely in. Archangel Michael says you are becoming spiritually decisive. You are no longer waiting for chaos to force change. You are choosing alignment before pressure arrives. This is wisdom. Be careful not to romanticize the past. The season you are leaving taught you, but it was not meant to hold you. Gratitude does not require return. Something new is forming, not dramatically, but steadily. Stability often feels quiet at first. Do not mistake calm for stagnation. You are learning to trust God in consistency, not just crisis. The coming shift will feel natural because this internal work has prepared you. Others may call it sudden. You will know it was built patiently. Archangel Michael says remain steady. Keep your heart soft and your mind clear. What you have been praying for is not being delayed. It is being delivered in order. You are not behind. You are on time. And as you continue forward, the next revelation will show you how this change begins to manifest outwardly, not just within. Stay attentive. Stay grounded. You are walking into something real. My beloved soul, Archangel Michael draws closer now, because the shift you have been sensing internally is beginning to press outward into your daily life. This is the phase where alignment starts showing results. Not dramatic miracles yet, but noticeable differences. You may find yourself responding differently to stress. Situations that once strained you no longer have the same power. Problems that once felt overwhelming now feel manageable. This is not because life has suddenly become easy, but because you have changed. Archangel Michael says your spirit has strengthened quietly. You endured without recognition. You grew without applause. And now, that growth is becoming visible. This is also where discernment sharpens further. You will start recognizing patterns faster. You will see outcomes before they fully unfold. Not because you are predicting the future, but because wisdom has been planted deeply within you. There is a warning here, spoken with care. Do not underestimate the importance of consistency right now. Breakthrough is not always about a single powerful moment. Often, it is about steady obedience over time. What you do daily in this season will determine how stable your next chapter becomes. You may be tempted to relax your discipline because things feel calmer. Do not drift. Calm is not the time to disengage. Calm is the time to build. Archangel Michael says this is a season of reinforcement. Foundations are being strengthened so that what God brings next does not collapse under pressure. This is especially important if you have prayed for expansion, influence, or responsibility. What is being prepared for you carries weight. You may also notice increased sensitivity to environments and conversations. Certain places may feel uncomfortable now. Certain discussions may feel heavy. This is not weakness. This is discernment protecting you from unnecessary entanglement. Under it, you are learning to leave rooms without explaining yourself. You are learning to listen without absorbing everything. These are signs of maturity. At the same time, there will be moments of temptation to go back to familiar habits, even if they no longer serve you. Familiarity can feel safer than growth. But Archangel Michael reminds you that comfort can disguise stagnation. Do not confuse peace with avoidance. There is also an invitation here to deepen your spiritual discipline. Prayer may feel different now. Less emotional, more grounded. That is not loss. That is growth. Your faith is becoming rooted, not reactive. You are moving from asking God to fix everything into partnering with Him in wisdom. This shift changes how heaven responds. Your decisions now carry clarity instead of confusion. Even when the outcome is uncertain, the direction feels right. That inner alignment is your confirmation. Archangel Michael also speaks about your influence. Whether you realize it or not, people are watching how you handle this season. Your calm is teaching others. Your boundaries are inspiring others. Your faith is being noticed, even if no one says it. Do not shrink back. Now pause with me for a moment. If this message is speaking to your spirit and helping you understand what God is doing in your life, take action right now. Like this video so this word can reach others who need clarity. Comment something simple like "I am aligned" to anchor this message in your heart. Share this with someone who feels stuck or confused in their season. And make sure you subscribe to this channel, because these messages are released exactly when they are needed. This is bigger than a video. This is timing. Archangel Michael says momentum is building, even if it feels slow. Do not rush it. Momentum that is forced breaks easily. Momentum that is built lasts. There will be an opportunity soon to choose between ease and alignment. Ease will look tempting. Alignment will feel challenging but right. Choose alignment. The reward will not be immediate comfort, but lasting peace. You are also being trained to trust delayed gratification. Immediate results are not always proof of blessing. Some blessings unfold layer by layer so they can remain. This is especially important for those of you who have experienced sudden rises followed by sudden falls in the past. God is doing this differently now. So, Daddy, secure. Archangel Michael says you are being protected from shortcuts. What takes longer now will last longer later. There may be moments where you question if you are doing enough. Release that pressure. Obedience is not measured by speed. It is measured by alignment. Stay faithful in what you can control. Release what you cannot. And before your mind drifts or you assume you already know where this is going, stay present, because what is about to be revealed next explains how this shift begins to affect your future decisions in a very specific way. Hold on, this next part brings insight many people miss. My dear one, Archangel Michael is asking you to listen with discernment now, because what unfolds in this phase will quietly redefine how you make decisions going forward. You are entering a season where intuition and wisdom begin to work together. In the past, you may have relied heavily on logic or emotions, swinging between overthinking and feeling unsure. But now, something steadier is forming within you. You are learning to sense direction without forcing answers. This is spiritual maturity. Archangel Michael says you will notice this first in small choices. What to say yes to, what to decline without guilt, where to invest your time, who deserves access to your energy. These decisions may seem ordinary, but they are shaping the structure of your future. This is how God builds lasting change, not through dramatic gestures, but through consistent discernment. You may also notice that your tolerance for confusion is decreasing. Situations that once kept you stuck in indecision now feel uncomfortable. That discomfort is not pressure. It is clarity demanding action. There is a new seriousness about your purpose settling in. Not heaviness, but responsibility. You are becoming aware that your choices do not affect only you. Your obedience creates ripples. Your hesitation does too. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that this awareness is a gift. It is not meant to burden you. It is meant to empower you. There is also a refinement happening in how you listen to others. Advice that once sounded wise may now feel misaligned. Opinions that once influenced you no longer hold the same weight. This is not arrogance. This is discernment learning to lead. You are no longer easily swayed by urgency, pressure, or emotional appeals. You are beginning to pause and ask, does this align with what God has already shown me? That question alone protects you from many unnecessary detours. You may feel a growing desire for depth over noise, meaningful conversations over constant updates, substance over speed. This shift is preparing you for relationships and opportunities that require presence, not performance. Archangel Michael says the coming change will ask you to be rooted, not impressive. Rooted. There is also healing taking place around trust. In the past, misplaced trust cost you time or peace. As a result, you learn to guard yourself tightly. Now, God is teaching you balanced trust. Open enough to receive, wise enough to discern. You will not be naive going forward, but you will not be closed either. This balance is important because someone significant will cross your path in this next season. This person may bring insight, opportunity, or confirmation. You will recognize them not by excitement, but by peace. There will be no pressure, no reviewing. Just alignment. Do not rush to label or define this connection. Let it unfold naturally. What is meant to stay will not need to be forced. Archangel Michael also speaks about patience with yourself. Growth does not erase human moments. You may still feel tired some days. You may still have moments of doubt. These do not mean you are regressing. They mean you are human. Progress is not the absence of struggle. It is the ability to move forward despite it. There is a temptation in this phase to demand certainty before moving, but faith rarely provides full visibility. It provides enough light for the next step, and that is all you need right now. You are learning to trust the process without needing to control it. This is where peace deepened. Archangel Michael says something important is stabilizing in your life, possibly finances, emotions, or direction. The stabilization may feel subtle, but it is significant. Stability creates room for growth without chaos. You are being positioned for sustainability, not burnout. Be mindful of how you speak about your future. Words carry direction. Avoid speaking from fear or frustration. Speak from trust, even when details are unclear. This is not denial. This is alignment. There is also a reminder here to honor rest. Rest is not retreat. It is restoration. A rest in spirit hears more clearly than a rushed one. As you move through this phase, resist the urge to announce everything God is doing. Some things grow best in quiet soil. Protection often looks like privacy. Archangel Michael says the wisdom you are gaining now will soon be needed. Not just for you, but for others who will look to you for guidance. This is why your character is being shaped before your influence expands. You are being prepared to carry clarity without pride and authority without hardness. And as this foundation settles, the next movement will feel less confusing and more intentional. You will not be guessing anymore. You will be choosing with confidence. Stay attentive. Stay grounded. What is coming next builds directly on this wisdom, and it will require the discernment you are developing now. My beloved child, Archangel Michael is speaking with great precision now, because you have reached a point where understanding turns into embodiment. This is no longer just about what you know or what you sense. This is about who you are becoming. The shift is no longer theoretical. It is settling into your identity. You are not waiting for permission anymore. You are beginning to walk with quiet authority. There is a noticeable difference in how you carry yourself now. You may not even be aware of it, but others feel it. Your presence is calmer. Your reactions are slower. Your words are more intentional. This is not withdrawal. This is strength under control. Archangel Michael says this is the moment when many people unconsciously self-sabotage, not because they want to fail, but because success feels unfamiliar. When chaos was normal, peace felt suspicious. But now, peace is your new language. Do not question it. You are learning that not everything requires your response. Silence is no longer uncomfortable for you. Waiting no longer feels like weakness. This inner stability is the sign that the old season has truly ended. There is also refining of desire happening. You are no longer chasing things just because they are available. You are discerning whether they are aligned. This alone protects your future more than you realize. Archangel Michael says temptation will test this discernment, not through obvious wrongs, but through almost right options. Things that look good but pull you slightly off course. This is where wisdom must lead, not excitement. Trust what feels peaceful, even if it grows slowly. You may also notice that you are becoming more selective with your energy. Where you invest emotionally, where you give your time. This is not selfishness. This is stewardship. You finally understand that your energy is sacred. There is a moment coming where you will be asked to commit to a path, a role, or a responsibility. The commitment will feel weighty, but not overwhelming. It will feel right, even if it stretches you. Archangel Michael says, do not fear responsibility. Responsibility and alignment brings fulfillment, not burnout. What you have walked through has prepared you for this. Every delay, every disappointment, every unanswered prayer refined your discernment so you would not step into this next phase blindly. You are not stepping forward as the same person you once were. You are stepping forward wiser, steadier, and more aware. There is also something healing in your relationship with time. You are no longer retting God. You are no longer racing others. You are learning to move at the pace of peace. This will protect you. Archangel Michael says something you once thought was late is actually arriving at the perfect moment. Had it come earlier, it would have overwhelmed you. Now, it will strengthen you. Do not doubt the timing. You may still have moments where the old fear whispers, asking, "What if it doesn't work?" But that voice no longer controls your direction. You have learned that obedience matters more than outcomes. Faith is no longer emotional for you. It is anchored. And now, receive this moment of activation. Type "I walk in divine alignment" in the comments if you feel this message settling into your spirit. Blessing code 888 is now activated, releasing stability, wisdom, and protection over every step you take from this point forward. And as this blessing flows, let me speak to you from the same spiritual breath. What you are receiving here is not meant to stop with you. This word is oil, and oil is meant to flow. Every seed you release into this mission becomes light for someone standing in darkness, waiting for clarity. As the word declares that those who sow generously will reap abundantly, I speak that promise over you now as a living reality. I feel led to invite you personally to respond, not later, but now. When you support this work through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, you are not funding content, you are fueling obedience. Your act of giving becomes a prophetic response that opens doors in places you may never see. I bless every supporter right now. May heaven remember your generosity. May provision meet you before need arises. Do not hesitate. Move in alignment. Release your seed now, and let God multiply it. My precious one, Archangel Michael invites you into deeper awareness now, because the alignment you have stepped into is beginning to reshape how you see your future. This is the phase where vision becomes clearer. Not every detail, not the full map, but enough direction to move with confidence. You may find yourself thinking differently about your life, your purpose, and what truly matters. Old goals may lose their grip. New priorities quietly rise. This is not confusion. This is refinement. Archangel Michael says you are no longer chasing outcomes. You are aligning with purpose. There is a difference. Outcomes satisfy the ego for a moment. Purpose sustains the soul over time. You may feel less interested in proving yourself now, less driven by comparison, less reactive to what others think. This does not mean ambition has died. It means ambition has matured. Your focus is shifting from recognition to impact. There is also a change happening in how you handle uncertainty. Before, uncertainty created anxiety. Now, it creates curiosity. You are learning to trust God even when the path unfolds step by step. The trust is powerful. Archangel Michael says this is the mindset required for the next level of responsibility coming your way. Responsibility without fear. Authority without pride. Influence without ego. You are being trained to lead quietly. This season may also bring moments of solitude, not loneliness, but intentional separation. Time where you feel drawn to reflect, pray, or simply be still. This is not withdrawal from life. It is alignment with purpose. Solitude sharpens vision. You are also becoming more aware of what drains you emotionally. Conversations that once felt normal may now feel heavy. Commitments that once seemed necessary may now feel misaligned. This is your spirit signaling adjustment. Do not ignore it. Archangel Michael says you are being taught discernment through peace. What steals peace is not meant to stay. What restores peace deserves attention. You are also learning that not every battle requires engagement. Some things resolve themselves when you stop feeding them energy. This wisdom will save you time and emotional strength. There is a quiet confidence forming in you now. Not loud, not boastful, steady. This confidence comes from knowing you are walking in alignment, even if others do not understand your pace or choices. Let them misunderstand. You are no longer responsible for explaining what God has not asked you to explain. There is also warning spoken gently. As clarity increases, pride can try to slip in unnoticed. Stay grounded. Remember where you came from. Gratitude keeps alignment intact. Archangel Michael says humility will protect everything God is building in your life. You may also notice that your prayers are changing. Less begging, more listening, less urgency, more trust. This is a sign of maturity. Your relationship with God is deepening beyond crisis-driven faith. You are learning to walk with God, not just run to Him. This season also invites you to redefine success. Success is no longer just achievement. It is peace. It is obedience. It is knowing you are where you are meant to be, even if the world cannot measure it yet. Archangel Michael says this redefinition will free you from unnecessary pressure. You will stop chasing timelines that were never yours. There is a future decision approaching. Not immediately, but soon. This decision will require clarity more than emotion. You will not feel rushed. You will feel ready. That readiness is being built now. You are also being taught patience with others. Everyone grows at different speeds. Just because you have moved forward does not mean others have. Compassion will help you navigate this without frustration. But compassion does not mean compromise. You are allowed to grow without dragging everyone with you. Archangel Michael says the strength you are developing now will soon be tested, not through chaos, but through responsibility. When things go well, will you remain grounded? When clarity arrives, will you remain humble? These are the tests of maturity. You are passing them quietly. This phase may not feel dramatic, but it is foundational. Foundations are never exciting to look at, but they determine how high you can build. Do not underestimate what God is doing in this season. You are becoming someone who can be trusted with more. And as this clarity settles, the next movement will invite you to respond outwardly, to speak, to act, to step into visibility in a way that feels intentional rather than forced. Stay attentive. Stay grounded. The next revelation will show you how this internal alignment begins to influence your outer world in a powerful way. My beloved one, Archangel Michael speaks again with urgency wrapped in calm, because what has been forming within you is now ready to be expressed outwardly. This is the stage where inner alignment begins to influence visible action. You may feel a pull to speak up, to step forward, or to finally act on something you have held inside for a long time. This is not impulsive energy. This is clarity reaching the surface. You are no longer acting to be seen. You are acting because silence would now feel like disobedience. Archangel Michael says this moment is about courage without drama. You do not need to announce your growth. You do not need validation. What you are being led to do will speak for itself. There is a specific area of your life where movement is required. It may involve communication, leadership, creativity, or decision-making. The details differ for each person, but the instruction is the same. Act with integrity, not fear. You are not stepping into something unfamiliar. You are stepping into something prepared. There may be a temptation to wait for perfect conditions, but perfect conditions rarely arrive before obedience. Often, conditions align after movement begins. This is why faith is active, not passive. Archangel Michael says you have reached a point where delay would cost more than risk. Not reckless risk, but faithful action. You may notice people responding differently to you now. Some will respect your clarity. Others may feel challenged by it. This is not your burden to manage. Growth will always reveal contrast. Do not shrink yourself to maintain comfort for others. You are also learning to speak with authority without needing to be loud. Your words are fewer, but they carry weight. This is the result of alignment. There is also refining of focus happening. Distractions that once pulled your attention easily now struggle to hold it. You are becoming more intentional with your time and energy. This focus will be essential in the next season. Archangel Michael says guard your focus carefully. What you give attention to now will multiply. You may also feel a renewed sense of responsibility, not pressure, but purpose. Responsibility grounded in alignment brings fulfillment, not exhaustion. This is where many people become afraid, because responsibility requires consistency. But you have been prepared for this. The discipline you build quietly is now supporting you. There is a choice approaching that will reveal how much you trust the growth God has done in you. It will not be dramatic. It will be practical. And it will matter. Trust the clarity you have been given. Now let me pause here and speak directly to you, because what is happening right now is not just for information. It is for activation. If this message is helping you understand your season and strengthening your faith, take a moment to like this video so this word can reach others who are also standing at a turning point. Comment something simple like "I step forward in faith" to anchor this truth in your spirit. Share this message with someone who needs clarity right now. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel so you stay connected to these timely revelations. This is how the message continues to move. Archangel Michael says momentum increases when alignment meets action. There is also a reminder here about patience with outcomes. Once you move, do not rush the results. Seeds grow underground before they break the surface. Trust the process after obedience. You are being trained to walk by faith even when affirmation is delayed. This will protect you from emotional dependence on results. There may be moments when you wonder if your action made a difference. Do not measure impact too quickly. Some changes ripple quietly before they become visible. Archangel Michael says stay steady after movement. Do not retreat because things feel unfamiliar. New ground always feels strange at first. You are also learning discernment in visibility. Not every success needs to be shared. Not every win needs an audience. Privacy will protect what is still growing. This phase requires balance, boldness without pride, confidence without haste, faith without pressure. You are capable of this balance. As you move forward, be mindful of your inner dialogue. Speak encouragement to yourself. Avoid revisiting old doubts. Those doubts belong to an earlier version of you. You are not that person anymore. There is strength in your restraint now. Strength in your clarity. Strength in your willingness to act without needing applause. Archangel Michael says this is how authority is built. Quietly, consistently, faithfully. And before you assume you know what comes next, stay present. because the next revelation reveals how this outward movement triggers a deeper spiritual exchange that will affect not just you, but others connected to your obedience. Hold on, what comes next carries weight you do not want to miss. My dear one, Archangel Michael speaks again, but this time with a deeper gravity, because what your obedience has set in motion is now extending beyond you. This is the phase many people never see coming. When you step into alignment, the impact does not stop at personal change and begins to touch environments, relationships, and outcomes connected to you. Your obedience becomes a signal in the spiritual realm, and that signal creates movement. You may start noticing subtle shifts around you. People may respond differently. Situations may resolve without the struggle you once expected. Conversations may take unexpected turns. This is not coincidence. This is influence. Archangel Michael says your alignment has altered spiritual permissions. Where resistance once existed, access is now granted. Where confusion lingered, clarity begins to surface. This is not because you are controlling outcomes, but because you are positioned correctly. Position matters more than effort. There is a deep peace forming in you now, but it is not passive. It is grounded. This peace allows you to remain steady even when outcomes are still unfolding. You are no longer shaken by delays or distracted by noise. This stability is rare, and it is valuable. You may also notice a new sensitivity to integrity. Compromises that once seemed small now feel heavy. Shortcuts that once tempted you now feel misaligned. This is not restriction. This is protection. Archangel Michael says integrity will guard what God is expanding in your life. Without it, growth collapses. With it, growth sustains. There is also a strengthening of your spiritual authority happening now. You may feel more confident setting boundaries, making decisions, or walking away from what does not serve your purpose. This confidence does not come from pride. It comes from clarity. You are no longer afraid of disappointing people when obedience requires it. That fear once controlled your choices. It no longer does. You may also feel a deeper compassion for others without feeling responsible for fixing them. This balance is important. Compassion without responsibility allows you to love without losing yourself. Archangel Michael says this is how mature faith operates. There is also a lesson unfolding around patience with results. Some of what you set in motion will take time to fully manifest. Do not interpret delayed visibility as lack of impact. Roots grow long before branches appear. Trust what has already shifted, even if you cannot see it yet. You are also being reminded not to romanticize struggle. Just because life feels calmer does not mean something is wrong. Peace is not boredom. Peace is alignment functioning as it should. You do not need chaos to feel alive anymore. This realization alone marks a significant transformation. Archangel Michael says the coming days may test your commitment to this new way of living. Old patterns may try to resurface. Familiar pressures may attempt to reclaim space. But you are not required to engage with what no longer aligns. You are allowed to choose differently now. There is also a strengthening of trust between you and God. You are no longer questioning every instruction. You are learning to respond with confidence even when details are incomplete. This trust invites greater responsibility. You may sense that God is preparing you for something that involves others, guidance, leadership, or influence. This does not require a title. It requires consistency. People learn more from how you live than from what you say. Your life is becoming the message. Archangel Michael says remain watchful, but not anxious. Awareness without fear is wisdom. You are alert, not alarmed. Be mindful of your spiritual habits now. What you nurture will grow quickly in this season. Prayer grounded in trust will deepen. Gratitude will expand peace. Discipline will stabilize progress. Elect, however, would sow momentum. This is not said to pressure you, but to remind you that growth must be maintained. There is also an invitation here to release control over timing. God's schedule is precise. Interfering with it through impatience creates unnecessary friction. What is meant to unfold will unfold. You may also feel moments of quiet awe, realizing how far you have come without dramatic announcements. Growth that is quiet is often the most authentic. Archangel Michael says, do not underestimate what has already changed. You are not the same person who first heard this message. Awareness has deepened. Courage has strengthened. Discernment has matured. And this matters, because the final phase will ask you to seal this season, not emotionally, but spiritually. To acknowledge what God has done and to step fully into what is next without looking back. There is no return to who you were, only continuation into who you are becoming. Stay grounded. Stay humble. Stay obedient. The next movement will complete this cycle and release a covering over what lies ahead. Remain present, because what is coming next carries finality and blessing together. My beloved child, this is the sealing moment. Archangel Michael stands with full authority now, because what has been revealed over this journey is reaching completion. This is not an ending. This is a handover. What you have walked through was preparation, alignment, and activation. What comes next is embodiment. You are no longer learning who you are becoming. You are stepping into it. Quietly, firmly, without apology. Archangel Michael says the reason this season felt so layered is because God was not changing one area of your life. He was changing your position. And position determines what can reach you and what cannot. You may notice that old triggers no longer have the same effect. Old fears no longer control your decisions. Old doubts no longer sound convincing. This is not because challenges are gone, but because authority hath been restored. You are standing differently now. There is a spiritual boundary forming around your life. Not isolation, but protection. Certain things simply cannot access you the way they used to. Certain delays will no longer repeat. Certain cycles are permanently closed. This is what happens when obedience meets timing. Archangel Michael says, the sudden change you were warned about is no longer approaching. It has locked in. From here forward, movement will feel more intentional. Not rushed. Not chaotic. Directed. You may not see everything immediately, but you will sense stability beneath your feet. That stability is the evidence of divine order. You are no longer being tested for readiness. You have already passed that phase. Now you are being trusted. Trusted with decisions. Trusted with influence. Trusted with peace. This does not mean life will be effortless. It means it will be anchored. There is also a release happening now. Release from self-blame. Release from regret. Release from replaying moments God has already redeemed. You are not meant to carry what has been resolved. Archangel Michael says the past no longer has permission to speak into your future. You may feel a quiet confidence replacing the old urgency. That confidence is not pride. It is alignment settling into identity. This is who you are now. Do not rush to explain your transformation. Let fruit speak. Let consistency speak. Let peace speak. There will be moments ahead where you realize how protected you were during seasons that felt confusing. Gratitude will replace questions. Understanding will replace frustration. This is closure, not emotional closure, but spiritual closure. You are stepping into a chapter that does not require constant survival. It requires stewardship. And to hear this carefully, you will not need to chase what is meant for you. Alignment attracts without striving. Archangel Michael says, remain watchful, but rest in trust. Stay disciplined, but remain gentle with yourself. Growth does not require harshness. You have learned discernment. You have learned patience. You have learned obedience. Now you walk forward with authority. Before this message completes, receive this final activation with intention. Type "I step into my assigned season" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 1212 is now released, sealing alignment, protection, and divine momentum over your life from this moment forward. And now, as this cycle closes, hear this sacred invitation flowing directly from what God has done in you. This word did not come to you by accident, and it was never meant to end with you. When you support this mission, you are responding to heaven's timing. The word declares that those who pour out will never run dry, and I speak that promise over you now as a living truth. I am directly inviting you, yes, you, to act in obedience. When you release your support through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, you are not giving to a channel. You are partnering with God to open doors for souls who are still standing in silence, waiting for direction. Your seed becomes oil. Your obedience becomes light. Your response becomes a harvest you may never fully see on this side of heaven. I bless every giver now. May your obedience return to you pressed down, shaken together, and overflowing. May provision meet you before you ask. Do not delay this moment. Respond now. So now. Move now.